What's going on, everybody? Josh Engleman for Awesemo.com, and I am back with my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Wednesday, May 19th. Now be sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when this and all of our other content goes live. Follow me on Twitter at Josh Engleman so you can get updates to these sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, let me know in the comments section who is your favorite and least favorite of my contenders for today's slate. We are rounding out the bottom of my top 10 with Keldon Johnson, Dylan Brooks, Jaren Jackson Jr., Andrew Wiggins, and Jonas Valanciunas on the outside looking in, who will be my favorites, my top 5 plays for today. It's time to find out. First up at number 5, we're going to small forward, power forward eligible Kyle Anderson. Flomo is 5,300, projected for 29.5. The goal's 30-80. He's in the optimal lineup 45% of the time. I think Anderson plays 30 minutes today. He's a fantasy point per minute guy. There's some upside here as well. 18% usage, and then legitimately a little bit of everything for him. 12.5 points, almost 6 boards, 3.5 assists, a steal, a block. It's a pace neutral spot against San Antonio, which is fine. You're not really worried about it. It's a 2-game slate. You got to play people regardless. But you do get the dual eligibility, and I do think that there's room for him to play slightly more if things are going well. The Spurs are kind of a good matchup for Kyle Anderson. But the fact that you can roster him at small forward and power forward at a $5,300 price tag, I think that he is slightly underpriced. So I really like getting to slow-mo here, no matter what style of build you're putting together. Next up at number 4, we are paying up at point guard, 10,100 for Steph Curry, projected for 53. The goal's 57. He's in the optimal lineup 53% of the time. I gave him 38 minutes. He's going to have to do everything for this team. 1.4 fantasy points per minute. 38% usage, which is bonkers. 35 real points, also bonkers. 5 boards, 5 assists, and you get a steal. Now, it's a very, very difficult matchup against the Lakers. The Lakers' defense is fantastic. There will be trees everywhere. LeBron, AD, whatever center they have out there, whether it's Andre Drummond or potentially Marc Gasol, even Montrezl Harrell is going to be active. We'll see if he's playing, but he'll be active. Very energetic gentleman. This is a tough spot for Curry. However, the perimeter game should be there. He's going to be heaving. You're going to have to assume that Steph is shooting probably 23s, if not more, which is kind of exciting to think about. It's going to be a fantastic game, and I love paying up for Steph, but it is a tricky spot. But at 10-1, given the 3-point bonus that Steph can pick up, I love it. Next up at number 3, we're going to the center position, and we're grabbing Jakob Poeltl. 4,900, projected for 30. The goal's 36.5. He's in the optimal lineup 57% of the time. Now I've got Jake Poeltl in for 32 minutes here at basically a fantasy point per minute, but I'm trying to be a little bit pessimistic, so I actually have him at 0.95 for this game. That's 10 points, 9 boards, 2 assists, 3 stocks. That's the biggie. 1 steal, 2.2 blocks. There's no usage here, so you're hoping that he gets a couple offensive rebounds and some putbacks, but Jakob Poeltl is much more of a defensive player than an offensive player. He's one of the best defensive centers in basketball, one of the best rim protectors, doesn't get nearly enough credit for it, so you're hoping that he can pick up those blocks. The fact that they're only worth 2 on DraftKings stings a little bit, but at 4,900, I don't mind the value because I think the minutes are there. I think he is a stabilizing force for the San Antonio Spurs defense, and that defense will be what keeps them in this game. So I like getting to Jakob Poeltl. I'm hoping he can go on a block party. Now, these next two are pretty much no-brainers to me. Point guard eligible, just 6,300 for reasons that I can't figure out. That would be Dejounte Murray, projected just shy of 38 fantasy points. The goal is 42. He's in the optimal lineup 59% of the time. I don't understand why Dejounte Murray is this cheap. I almost couldn't say his name. Dejounte Murray. 35 minutes, 1.08 fantasy points per minute. And he does everything. 23% usage, 17, 7, and 6, plus 2 stocks against Memphis in a pace-up spot. And Murray's certainly not worried about the Grizzlies' defense. I don't understand the price. If he had dual eligibility, it'd be even crazier. But for 6,300, you don't even have to bat an eye. He's in the optimal lineup 60% of the time. I'm going to him a lot. Now, before we get to that number 1 contender, one last reminder, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know when everything goes live. And then head on over to twitter.com and follow me at Josh Engleman. It's the only place you're going to find updates to my sim results as we get closer to lock. And finally, underneath this video in the comment section. I want your favorite contender, your least favorite contender, and the guy that you expected to see on this list that you do not see. It's a clean sweep today, no doubt about it. Small forward eligible DeMar DeRozan is the #1 contender for today's slate. Just 7K for reasons that I don't understand. Projected for 42, the goal is 45. He's in the optimal lineup 62% of the time. DeRozan should just be more expensive. He has much higher rates with no Derek White and no LaMarcus Aldridge on the floor. So 36 minutes at 1.17 fantasy points per minute. We're talking 28% usage, 24 real points, 7.5 assists, 4.5 boards. You get a steal. It's a matchup against Memphis. Obviously, he's going to want to win this game. He's the vet here. I'm expecting big things out of DeRozan, but the price tag is essential. He makes it really easy to save money in other places. Both he and Dejounte Murray are massively underpriced. I expect them to be a very popular combination today. They would be my first 2 plays in cash games. Don't overthink it. DeMar DeRozan is the #1 contender for today's slate. Alrighty, folks, that will do it. Those are my NBA DFS contenders on DraftKings for Wednesday, May 19th. Process show is in the books. Go watch that. FanDuel version of this video exists as well. Check that out. Strategy show at 10 a.m. with Lofty. And then live before lock tonight, 6:30 p.m. Eastern time, myself and Greg Ehrenberg breaking down everything for the final hour before lock. Good luck tonight, everybody. We will have contenders for the single games on Thursday and Friday, so keep your eyes peeled. I will talk to you again tomorrow morning for another edition of the Contenders.